What was that moment that made you realize I need to give Google a good hard crack?
I'm wearing a lot of hats, like many of us. I don't want to do it myself. I have no expertise in this field, so I need someone who knows what they're doing, someone that I can trust. The bigger picture for me is peace of mind, that I can sleep easier knowing that that side of things, which I find really, really important, is being handled for me.
Welcome to Diary of the Search Queen, the go-to podcast for salon owners ready to ditch the algorithm and get found by their dream clients on Google. I'm Sonja Raymond, aka Sonja the Search Queen, founder of the Search Republic. And after helping salons generate millions in client bookings, I'm here to show you how to create a reliable, low-stress lead flow without living on your phone. Ready to stop chasing and start filling chairs with ease? Let's go. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Diary of the Search Queen. I'm very excited because today I'm joined by one of my beautiful clients, Michelle Murphy from Mercy Physio. She has been with us for 2 years now. And Michelle, you have had a 40% increase in your business in the last 2 years since we started working together. That is a phenomenal result. So that is amazing, like absolutely amazing. So let's actually start there, my darling. So I want to know, like, what was life like in the clinic before we started working together versus what it's like now? It's incredible.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Sonja. It's an absolute privilege to talk to you today. So look, things were, I'm not going to lie, they're at a pretty stressful point. I work within a hospital, St John of God Mount Lawley Hospital, and towards the end of 2023, they'd announced they were going to close the maternity unit on the hospital. And our business model is based on women's health, so pelvic health, and we had a beautiful funnel of pregnant and postnatal clients coming through us via the family birthing unit. And so when they announced its closure, I'm not going to lie, I was devastated at many levels. The level that I delivered my babies there and the fact that babies have been delivered there for 86 years, it was really personally sad for me and many parents in the community and for all the staff who worked on the birthing unit. But also from a business perspective, when I put my business hat on, I just went, oh my God. Okay, so we still want to offer what we offer because what we offer is amazing and women need these services. But now that beautiful kind of automated funnel that we had is being taken away. And so, you know, like I've heard you say, Sonja, you can have a sign in the desert, but if no one knows you exist, then they're not going to know that these beautiful services exist. And so I think actually me hearing you say that once at one of the networking events I went to where you spoke at, and I went, I need to be seen. I need for us to be visible. And for physio, the most common way that people find us outside of word of mouth is Google, physio near me, you know, women's health physio, pregnancy physio. And so it just made sense then to me to get support around optimizing our SEO and obviously getting some Google ads out there.
Yeah.
And so that was what prompted it.
Absolutely. And I remember when we first started working together, you were very much like quite a new business owner. Like you'd just taken on the clinic when we first started working together. Because I remember meeting you October 2023. Yeah,
correct.
First time I met you, your first ever
Yes.
networking event, I remember.
Yep.
And then I think you signed on them with us in the following March. So it's like 2 years now that we've been working together. And seeing like your business go from strength to strength, like, and seeing the quality of the business coming through, like I can't actually think of anyone more deserving, you know, because you're just a beautiful human inside and out, and you know, we're very much values aligned. So like having dream clients like you just make our life so much easier because you're just so easy to work with. So we absolutely adore you.
Thank you, Sonja. It certainly helps when the people that you work with are easy to get along with and easy to talk to. Like, and this is no offense to tech people, but I sometimes find people in our IT team who are fantastic at what they do, but just a little trickier to communicate with. So it was nice having had met you prior to getting started. But yeah, I just bought the business and taken it on. So it was a bit of a scary time for me being right at the start of owning a business and then finding that one of the things that I thought I was buying into was not in fact stable. But then I had to decide, I had to put my big girl pants on and go, oh, well, do I just fall in a heap, or do I take action, and do I be proactive in finding ways to make sure that the women who need us can find us? And thank you for your kind words. I think this is just such an important space, and the work we're doing is so important, and we do it well. And if women know that we're here, then they can access those services. So, because it is a bit scary, to invest in things like SEO and Google Ads. Like, it's a bit scary because, you hear horror stories of it not being utilised well, the money that you're putting into it, and it's just a bit of an unknown as well. So I think having that trust.
And I love that you said that, because in all honesty, 80% of clients that come to us have tried SEO and have tried Google Ads, and they've never gotten the result that they had signed up to getting, in which case what happens is when we end up getting these clients, they're already on the fence whether Google is the right option for them. And I keep coming back to this analogy. It's it's not Google that's the problem. It's the service provider that's managing it for you, because Google can absolutely work when you have the right strategy and the right team behind you. And when, again, it actually can work for a specific industry, because there's just some industries we would never touch, and that would be accounting and tax people and all those sorts of things, and insurance, because it's just not worth it for anyone. IT companies, like IT providers, it doesn't work. So we would never take on a client that we know we can't deliver results for. But like you as a service-based business, you losing that whole lead flow, and the fact that we were able to help you replace that and some, just honestly is the reason why my team and I, do what we do to help businesses like yourself. Because, if nobody can find you, you are a billboard in the desert. And if they're not if your ideal client can't find you on Google, they're booking somebody else, and that's your competition. So I'm really happy that you shared that, because you guys deserve to be seen. Because I have personally been in the clinic during my pregnancy with Willow, and I've had my pelvic health check, and I've come in for needling, and I've come in for pregnancy massage and pelvic girdle pain. I had it all, and you guys are, like, honestly, your service is so superior and so premium, and it's just such a lovely vibe to be in the clinic. You just feel so important being in the clinic, and it's just a really lovely community to be a part of. So thank you for looking after me as well, Michelle. You're a legend.
Oh no, thank you. That's such lovely feedback. That's that's why we do what we do.
You so deserve it.
So Michelle, what was that moment that you realized something had to change? Like, what was that moment that made you realize I need to give Google a good hard crack? Like, what was that moment? Because, like, obviously you were the one that made that decision, and so many business owners really are on that sidelines for such a long time waiting for something to change. But you're the person that chose to change and made that difference. So tell me about that moment. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I think it was just a logical thought process, really. I think, how do I find things? I Google it. So I get on Google and find something. And then that obviously has an enormous influence over the decisions you make, particularly around service-based industry. So that was number one. Number two, I'm wearing a lot of hats, like many of us. I have 2 young kids. I'm running a business. I'm still working clinically in the clinic. And I just thought, I don't want to do it myself. I have no expertise in this field. So I need someone who knows what they're doing, someone that I can trust. And honestly, someone that I can just go, you know what, that stuff's covered. Like, I can go to sleep at night knowing that work is being done for me. That's what I'm paying for. Ultimately, I'm actually paying for peace of mind. Like, yes, I'm paying for, the work that you do, but the bigger picture for me is peace of mind, that I can sleep easier knowing that side of things, which I find really, really important, is being handled for me. And yes, we catch up monthly, and I'm learning a lot about how it all works, but I'm never going to be an expert on this, and I don't want to be an expert in this, which is why I'm very happy to outsource to people who are experts in this. I am a big fan. I'm a big believer in outsourcing to people that are passionate about the things that I can't be passionate about because I have my things. So yeah,
the whole other ball game. It's a whole other world, and that's the thing is, like, I often hear business owners that try to do Google Ads themselves, and they try to do SEO in house, and I'm like, love, like it's a full-time job on top of what you're already doing. It's actually going to cost you more and you won't get the result that you're after, because it'll give you more time back to serve clients, to make more bang for your hours, like make more buck for your hours. And that's what so few people understand, like, because it's like, there's no point in even trying to learn it. You know, you just focus on your own craft, and then like, just like you would get an accountant to do your end of year taxes and all that kind of stuff. It's just we're all very much better off staying in our own lanes. So I'm glad that you've spoken about that, because there's so few people get that point. And obviously, since our time working together, your campaign has changed a lot, because you've had a lot of new services that were added into the clinic. So obviously, you were a billboard in the desert for any of that, because none of that was actually on your website. So we obviously helped get those services up on the website. Like, what has that been like, been adding those extra services to your business? What has that meant?
Well, so I guess a really good example is our M-Seller chair. So we purchased an M-Seller chair just over 12 months ago now, which is basically a device, a technological device that introduces e-stim into the pelvic floor and can be helpful for helping to strengthen the pelvic floor. It was a new technology for our clinic, and sure, we added it into the website and we did a couple of social media posts, but I'm like, okay, nothing's coming in for this. So then obviously at one of our meetings, I said, can we introduce this to, our Google Ads campaign? And honestly, the majority of the people that book in for the M-Seller chair come through a Google search. So it has actually been a really good marketing angle, I guess, because obviously once they might be looking for that specific technology, but then they're in our clutches, meaning we can then assess them properly and educate them properly and provide the full gamut of our comprehensive services. But we've kind of had that hook to get them in the door. And I would say 90% of the way people find us for the M-Seller chair is through Google.
I love that you've said that, like really and truly, because that is the reality. You can open up multiple revenue streams to your business by having a fully functioning Google Ads campaign. So we have that a lot with our salon owners as well, where they have this nanoplasty treatment or lived-in blondes, all these different new techniques, and everybody in the society and the culture want these services, but it's like, well, nobody can find you if it's not on your website. So I'm glad that we were able to help you with that too, because that's the thing. It's like, if there's no content on your website, or if you're not actually telling people you're open for business for the services that you offer, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You really are. And like, when you think about the last 2 years as well, Michelle, like what you've paid us in management fee and paid Google and ad spend, the profit that you've made on top of that after your fees have been paid for is like astronomical. Would you agree?
Yes. Oh, yes. It absolutely pays for itself. And I think, just from a physio perspective, I also have a mentor in the physio clinic space, and there's been educators that have come in just to talk to us about things like SEO and Google Ads. And when you're looking at what you should be paying and the value that you get from it, like, it's legit, it works and it's worth the investment.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like that's just helped to cement in my mind that this stuff is important and it works, because people have to find you.
Absolutely.
And there's only so much you can shout it from the rooftops.
Absolutely. And I think just to add to that as well, like when you think about like all business owners, like back in the day, they would have a person on to do business development for them. And the thing is, when Google is done right, it's your whole your whole business development arm taken care of. So if you treat it as a salary for a person that you don't actually have to performance manage, or you don't have to micromanage them at all, it's literally all automated, where it brings the leads and the bookings to you. It pays for itself and you make profit on top. Isn't that a no-brainer?
Yeah.
That's kind of the gift in what it is that we do, because it can never be seen as like an expense. It's an investment for you to make your business more profitable. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's really complex stuff. Like, obviously, again, I'm not an expert, but I do appreciate the complexity of how Google works and the algorithms and how everything continuously changes. But I also really respect that Google is trying to do the best for people, in that it's trying to set the algorithms up so that people get the best information, which I want. Like, if I Google something, I want the best information the most reputable sources to be brought to me wherever possible. So I value having someone else's expertise to make sure that my website is as good as it can be to align with what Google wants, so that people who are searching for what we have to offer find us and not, less valuable service.
Yeah. Less favorable. Exactly.
Quick break. If you're a salon owner, sick of posting every day with nothing to show for it, or you're staring at the gaps in the books again next week, well, we can help. So book a free call with my team using the link in the show notes, and let's map out a Google strategy that brings in dream clients without the daily hustle. Now, back to the episode.
And can I ask you, Michelle, obviously being a new business owner, losing all that lead flow from the maternity, the hospital closing down, and then this obviously taking off with the leap of faith that you've had, what ripple effect has the work that we've done had on your personal life? Because I can imagine taking over a brand new business and then that happening shortly after. That must have been gut-wrenching for you.
Yeah.
And what has that been like now?
Yeah, it was really a scary time, but we've just thrived since then. So, again, I talk about being able to sleep at night. From a clinic perspective, when you're a service-based industry, you want to be able to open up your booking calendar and see those bookings there. I had days at the start where where you see quiet days and you just, it's scary. You want to see.
You're still pay wages, you're still paying people to, even when their books aren't full.
Yeah. So you need those books to be full, and it just, it allows me to have a regulated nervous system. It allows me to go and pick my kids up from school and be able to take that hat off and be present with them. It allows me to sleep at night. It's huge and not something that I ever underestimate. And again, why I'm such an advocate for outsourcing. Yeah, like you said, tax stuff, I would never just let the accountant sort that out. And I don't want anything to do with doing the wrong thing by the tax department. So, but yeah, it's having these people, teams. Yeah, you guys feel like a part of our team, which you are. Yes, you're not there showing up in your physio uniform, but you're very much part of my team in how we manage this side of the business.
And we are very much honoured to be part of the team, let me tell you. And tell me, what's the future vision like for Mercy Physio? Because I know you have a few changes coming up. I'd love for you to share with the listeners what the future looks like for you, because you have been thrown a lot of curveballs since you've taken over this business, and kudos to you, because it's definitely the mindset behind business owners that choose to either sink or swim, and you're definitely a person that swam the channel as far as I'm concerned. You really are, because I just feel would you agree, business is really challenging at times, but it's only going to be as challenging as much as your mindset and how strong your mindset is behind it to be able to tackle the challenges. So tell us what these curveballs are and what that future vision is like and how you're overcoming all these.
Yeah, so beautifully well said, Sonja. I think mindset is 99% of it. And yeah, running a business is definitely challenging. I have 23 staff on my payroll and multiple arms of the business, because we have a baby swim school, we have the physio clinic, we cover the ward in the hospital. So there's a lot of moving parts. And I think you really have to be able to come back to your values to stay regulated. And honestly, for me, I'm if my family are healthy and well, the rest will sort itself out. So I am very good at just knowing where my real priorities, knowing how to keep things in perspective, I suppose. But yeah, there's definitely been some curveballs. I just think because, in the 14 years prior to me buying the business, there were some curveballs, but I had two pretty come at me fairly quickly with the closure of the family birthing unit. And then in November last year, the hospital, St John of God Healthcare, announced that they're selling the hospital that we lease in to the government. So I actually have a meeting with the government this week to find out what that means, and I'm hoping to get some clarity, but I'm also sort of not holding my breath because, as much as I would like okay, this meeting we're going to have clear answers. I know that's not necessarily how these things work, but so there is some uncertainty over what this means for us. The hospital will become a public hospital, and I'm presuming at some point we will have to move out. So I have been actively looking out and seeking other opportunities, and it is actually exciting. It is really exciting, and I think just the next phase to step into, and I'm quite sure it will all work out for the best, and I will look back and go, oh, okay, I'm glad that happened and the universe booted me up the butt.
All conspiring for you, because
look at us
and
now.
I think when we first and when we first met, I remember you saying, there was a few things that you'd like to change and all these things. I'm like, that will all come with time. This is obviously not the package that you asked for, but it's definitely the one I believe is going to take the clinic to the next level for sure, because it's going to have Michelle's stamp all over it. It's not a business that you've bought. It's like you putting your own stamp. And I love that you've reframed that obstacle as something exciting rather than a massive challenge to overcome, because that could be very crippling to most people, So kudos to you. And I just love how you see these challenges as, no, it's an actual opportunity for the greater good, So that's awesome. And can I ask you just a bit about, I'd like for any listener that's on the fence or have heard about you or is pregnant or is into women's health, all of that. Can we speak to the listeners about what it is that you can help them with and service them that they may not already know that you do?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. So we're specialist pelvic health physio, and I guess our target audience, if you will, is pregnancy, although we do see pelvic health concerns across the whole lifespan, including pelvic pain, perimenopause, postmenopause, pelvic floor concerns, including incontinence, prolapse. But we do love seeing our pregnant clients because I feel like it's just it's a point in time where women are vulnerable and they really need expert support and evidence-based support. And there's so many things during pregnancy that can start to show signs of vulnerability, whether it be like pelvic girdle pain, like you experienced, Sonja. It's very common and it can be really scary and debilitating. Pelvic floor strength. Do you do it? Don't you do it? How do you do it? When do you do it? So I think, we are evidence-based, highly qualified. We have excellent relationships with obstetricians and gynecologists across Perth, as do I can vouch for all my pelvic health colleagues across Perth, but it's still lots of women don't know that our services are out there, and it's something that I think if you're ever going to learn about your pelvic floor, then pregnancy is a good time to do it, because it is a time of vulnerability. And if we can change the narrative about how common issues like incontinence and prolapse are by women becoming informed early and getting the support and treatment that they need early, whether it be in pregnancy or postnatal recovery, then we can start to change the narrative of these issues being so common in later life, which I think is why that's such a pet love for me, because I'm like, if we can do better here, then I won't need to see as many women in their 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s who are really struggling and didn't know how to care for their pelvic floor. So it's an absolute privilege to see women through also just their journey from being a pregnant woman to a new mum. It gives me goosebumps when they come in the door with their new bub, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, here you are. Now you're a mum.
Oh, that is so good. I got goosebumps when you said that too. I love that you said that. Well, Michelle, it's honestly been such a pleasure working with you, and we are very, very, very grateful to have you as a client at the Search Republic. You are one of these people that we speak very highly of internally, and you're just so easy to deal with. And I can't think anyone more deserving of all that life has to offer, but also a very much a thriving business. And I feel that mindset is most definitely the biggest part of business. And you have that down packed in spades, my love, and keep shining. And thank you for all of your commitment to the work that we've done for you for the last 2 years. You've been an absolute honor and a joy to work with, and it's an honor to work with you. So thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much for your kind words, Sonja. And I feel the same. It's been a pleasure to work with you and your team.
If today's episode spoke to your salon soul, then hit subscribe so you don't miss the next round of strategy and support. For more help filling your books without the burnout, then check the show notes and you'll find a link to the Search Republic, where we build simple Google strategies that actually work. And if we're not already connected, come and say hi to me on the gram at Sonja the Search Queen. And I'd love to hear what landed for you today.